welcome back to another episode of Nintendo Fanboyz. I'm with Steven, and we're going to be talking about a whole bunch of Nintendo stuff that I know nothing about. So let's discover this together.
Sounds like a plan.
All right. Well, I'm actually going to start with the first topic, and it's going to be the headline topic. And it's basically talking about, what's his name, Hideo Kojima, and the fact that he is officially broken away from Konami. Oh, happy day. And the fact that the first game that's been announced from him hasn't been announced at all. It's essentially just the announcement that he's going to be working with Sony on publishing a new franchise IP for exclusively for Sony platforms. That's all it basically said, which basically means that he's making a PlayStation 4 game. And the question is, since Kojima Productions is an independent studio, do you think we could see a Kojima game pop up on the NX or the 3DS or whatever follows up the 3DS or what have you? You think Nintendo should actually actively go after it?
Well, anybody who has Kojima on his team is better for it, but I doubt that Kojima himself will show much interest to work with Nintendo unless DNX is not what DNX will be, which is probably won't be as powerful as whatever Sony's going to come up with, or even the PlayStation 4. We don't know all these things yet, so we have lots of questions to answer. But something that I found funny with this is that, unfortunately, my fears of Kojima not being able to tell us what happened are still true. He is still contractually obligated not to reveal what happened with Konami. However, he did give a tiny clue I found, is that he said that he will forever, I don't know the exact quote, but he said something like he will forever work on creative games till the day he dies. He said something like that, which basically probably means that he wasn't happy with the direction Konami was heading as a company. Which is a possibility, which is a possible reason for why he left the company. But I found it pretty cool that might be a little clue, or that might be something, I don't know. But it sucks that we won't be able to find out what happened. But I'm curious if you do think that Nintendo should have maybe made a bigger effort to try and land Kojima, at least his first game on the NX. Maybe a possible launch title.
So I don't know if Nintendo didn't actually already try and go after Kojima. I mean, and when I say that, go after, and even for you, it's not, in other words, to say they're going to be exclusive, they're never going to release anything ever again. I don't think Kojima will ever put himself in that position again where he's quote-unquote owned or contractually obligated to work only on one platform, because I know he hasn't wanted to work on Metal Gear since Metal Gear Solid 3. And we know that. But Konami was basically yeah, you got to do it, it's going to be amazing, it's going to be glorious, blah, 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 blah. So, I mean, really, I think Kojima is going to work wherever the hell he wants to work. And I wouldn't be surprised if Nintendo, if they haven't already, if they approach him and say, hey, would you like to work on something kind of unique with whatever it is that we're working on? Let's say they I don't know, their next platform does have something unique, maybe not a gimmick per se, but something unique about it. And they show him an early working of the system, and say, would you like to do something on this platform? And considering he's totally free now, I mean, he could take on multiple projects. So, I mean, I actually do believe it's possible. I know, based on the games he's worked on, it's really easy for us to say, oh, yeah, it's a really logical step for him to partner up with Sony to make some games and stuff like that. But he's a creative guy. You just said it yourself, that he wants to... He'll always be a creative person, and he always wants to work on creative games. Well, Nintendo offers some really awesome platforms to do something like that. So yeah, I actually wouldn't be surprised, not now, but after, say, this first game with Sony, I wouldn't be surprised if he does jump around a little bit and decides to make some stuff. I'm actually really curious to see what he works on in this post Metal Gear Solid world that now he's part of.
What's the last Kojima game that was ever released for Nintendo console? I think you mentioned a Game Boy Advance one, and I don't think I can recall any game after that, right?
Okay, yeah, so basically, him himself as the director, oh boy, I don't think there's ever been any. But and correct me if I'm wrong, guys, I know that we had the Twin Snakes remake, but if I recall correctly, I wasn't a big fan of that. I could be wrong, but I remember reading somewhere about that he wasn't like the super thrilled guy about that one. There was Boktai, which he didn't make himself, but again, it was his group. He produced it, which was a really unique game where you actually, the concept was take your Game Boy and get out of the house. That was essentially what it was, because it had a solar panel on the game cartridge, I think it was, and you had to kill enemies by using literally the power of the sun. Excuse me. And there was also Metal Gear Solid Babel, I think it was called, which again was on the Game Boy Color, I want to say. Was it Color or was it Advance?
No idea what that game is. Like I recall like Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater 3D on the 3DS, but again, that was a port, and I doubt that was his work.
Well, here, let's while we're talking, I know it was called Metal Gear Solid here, but in Europe, I believe it was called Ghost Babel. Yeah, there it is, Ghost Babel. It was released in 2000, and yeah, it's his group. It was Kojima that did it for the Game Boy Color. I still have that game. That was a really good game, actually. It was almost like a retelling of Metal Gear Solid, sort of. It was quite different, obviously. It was completely 2D. Really good game, man. If you haven't tried that, you should, maybe that'll be another gift I can get you.
I kind of recall seeing it in an issue of Nintendo Power back in the day, but I totally forgot about that game.
So anyway, so there is some history here. Like I said, maybe not him directly, but there's definitely some history here, and I'm actually kind of proud of myself for remembering a couple of games. That's very unusual for me. So, I mean, like I said, I don't think, I don't expect him, I'm going to, give a glowing endorsement to the NX. I'm going to work with Nintendo from here on out. But it's not unheard of that, he may want to try something different. That was the whole reason why he wanted his group to tackle Boktai, was to do something different. So, who knows?
Yeah, no, I think you answered the question there. It will be interesting to see. It would be fun. I really hope he would make some games for Nintendo. Would really definitely help Nintendo, but who knows?
Exactly. So I now want you to talk for the next 45 minutes all about a whole bunch of news, and I hope you've written this down.
I didn't. So you're supposed to segue me into those.
You suck.
I do.
Okay, so we're going to start off with the Nintendo Direct that I actually want to watch. I have not had a chance. I had some sad personal news. Serena's dog passed away, so she's been quite distraught, and so I'm going to have to catch up on a lot of news because I've just been really out of it for the last week. Around the last week. So, Steven, take it away. Talk about the Smash announcements. Let's start with those, because I'm actually kind of surprised by what you told me.
Yeah, actually it was exclusively a Smash Direct. It was the final one, actually, which is pretty sad. It means that after these last characters are created, Nintendo, whatever the team is, whatever the guy's name is, will no longer be developing any more DLC for Smash Brothers. And it's been a good run, though. It's been more than a year now that the game has been out, and it will be supported all the way till, I believe, March or whatnot with the last character, which was announced at the last 15 minutes of the Direct. So the Direct basically started with the announcement that Corrine, which is the main character from Fire Emblem Fates, which is not out here yet, that it can either be a male or a female, so it's just like Robin, will be released, I believe, in February. So that was the biggest reveal just to start, and the character looks pretty cool. It's I don't know if you can Google it, but you'll see that it's a white costume. It's a pretty interesting character, and like we said before, like I can't wait to play that game. I can't wait to play that game. And then immediately after and this direct was pretty in depth. Like they basically talked about 3 characters and they showed all their movesets. So if you're a big Smash fan, it was really interesting, and especially for the hardcore players, to watch that, because you're already getting an edge and you already know more of that. You can already picture those moves and whatnot. So after they talked about Corrine, they actually talked about Cloud and whatnot, all his moves, and then basically they rehashed what we already knew, but they did say that it was going to be available for download immediately after the Direct was done, which is something that I predicted in the last Nintendo Fanboyz. Yep. And sadly, your prediction didn't come true. So there we go. Sephiroth was announced, but they did announce a truckload of Mii outfits. And one that was pretty cool was the Square Enix guy from Super Mario RPG. I believe his name is something like Gino, or you might know him. Yeah, they announced his. You'll be able to get his outfit, which is pretty cool. They announced like a bunch of more outfits for a bunch more games. I've never been much into those Mii outfits, but I guess it's just because I would prefer to get the full character, but I know that it's not realistic to expect, because I think there's near 80 Mii outfits right now, so I think they could add 80 new characters. It would become overflooding. And lastly, they announced that the new character, the last character, the one that they decided would win the ballot. Well, it did win the ballot. What they said was it was the number 1 character in Europe. It was top 5 in North America, and I don't know what they said in Japan. And they used a pretty interesting fact. They said that it was the top number 1 usable character or obtainable character in the ballot. So that means that obviously probably like a guy like Master Chief probably got a lot of votes, but for obvious reasons it's not something Nintendo could actually put in Smash Brothers, or maybe they could, but they don't necessarily want to give Microsoft the publicity. So Bayonetta is the one that ended up with the most votes, and it won, which is pretty cool. And then they showed her off for 15 minutes. And that's pretty much it for the podcast, for the Direct. They also confirmed that these 3 characters will be getting their very own amiibo, which is pretty cool. So you'll be getting a Cloud and Bayonetta amiibo very soon. And the rest of the amiibo news I'll save for the amiibo segment later on.
Yeah, that'll be cool, man. Getting Cloud. They better not make that exclusive, or that'll be a very expensive amiibo to collect. So a few things. Let's see here. I don't know why they did so much hoopla and only had Cloud. I guess, like, I can understand when they first originally announced Snake was joining the Smash Brothers way back when. And like with Ryu, I got that in this particular game. And I guess I could sort of see it with Cloud too, but man, there was some serious potential there. Like to have Barrett, to have Tifa, to have Sephiroth, to have, like a couple of characters would have been really, really cool. I just guess that wasn't meant to be. And it's sad that this is all coming to an end. Like, it sucks, actually. But it was cool. I like the fact that, they announced some new characters. I like the fact that you were right about Cloud, coming out at the very end of the Direct. And the Mii outfit stuff, doesn't really, do anything for me either. But yeah, it's kind of sad because this is like one of their huge, huge, huge games. And it's going to be probably, if Mario Maker weren't around, would say that this would probably be the game that will stay in people's Wii U's the longest, would be Smash. It would just be there for like years and years. But because of Mario Maker, I'm not so sure of that. Because Mario Maker is Mario Maker. It's just awesome. So you want to add anything else for that one, or shall I move on?
Move along. Let's move along.
Okay, well, guys, there was some news. I forget how this happened. I think it was like on Twitter or something like that. Anyways, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but Nintendo basically, or someone from Nintendo said like, "Oh, look out for Monday, gonna be some big news." And what was announced? What was this big news?
It was Minecraft.
Woo!
I bet that was a day one download for you there.
Damn right. Damn right. And why was this big news?
I
What was
have no idea. This is Nintendo being Nintendo. Maybe they thought that this would be huge, or maybe they was well, we don't really have nothing to announce, so let's try to get some hype. Maybe that was the simple mindset behind this, because like Minecraft, the Wii U is a year older than the PS4 and the Xbox One, and those consoles have had Minecraft now for a while. It's been on everything. It's been on. I think it has. Minecraft is on the Wii. I know it's on. I believe it's on the Wii. So it's not like this is the first time Nintendo has Minecraft, and it's just I don't know. I want Minecraft on Wii U. I was actually considering buying this because I haven't played Minecraft in years, and I always loved that game. And I thought it would be awesome to have that inventory screen on the touchscreen with the gamepad. But then it got leaked that it's not actually used in the game besides being off-screen gameplay. So that's a huge missed opportunity. So if they don't patch this up, which I don't believe they ever will, because why bother? The game will make money because of the Minecraft, and they don't need to put any work into this. So I don't plan on buying this. Sadly, it's just a missed opportunity. And I also learned. I just read Nintendo Life's review right now a few seconds ago. They gave it an 8 on 10. They said it was still Minecraft, so it's a pretty good game, obviously. But it's just apparently. I know that the PC version, like, apparently is almost the size of the Earth, and in terms of, well, it's the size of the Earth if you want to explore it. And I remember when I played the Xbox 360 version when it came out a few years ago, I think it was only 1,000 blocks by 1,000 blocks. And this one apparently is only 868 by 868 blocks. So it's still huge, but if you plan on playing this for like months and months, you'll run out of space eventually, which is kind of what Minecraft is all about, like limitless exploration. So it's not the best port of Minecraft out there, that's for sure.
Yeah, man, I was, I mean, I guess I was optimistic, if that makes any sense. I don't know why I was optimistic, to be honest, because, like you said, it would have made a lot of sense to have that inventory screen on the pad, but, you know, look at it. The Wii U, I know this is a Nintendo Fanboyz podcast here, but the Wii U is just, it's been the least successful platform Nintendo has ever made, outside of the Virtual Boy, I believe. At least in terms of home consoles, we can be assured that it's the least successful. Why would the developer put any money into the development of the game? You know what I mean? Like, why? They know that this is going to sell like crap. So I think we were kind of optimistic for foolish reasons, just as fans, I think. More so than anything else, because, yeah, logically it makes no sense. From their perspective, this is probably going to sell, like, what, 2,000 copies? 5,000?
Well,
You know,
I still think this will sell. Like, it's Minecraft, it's the Wii U people, and the Wii U, there are still like 10 million people who have a Wii U. They're hungry for something, and this is a nice. I'm pretty sure parents are going to buy that for their kids, or they're going to download that for their kids during the holidays, and I'm pretty sure it might reach 100K eventually. I wouldn't be surprised.
okay, well, if it sells 100K, okay, but it's still, like, it's not going to sell 9 million units or something like that.
I don't. That's what Mojang, I believe, thought like this would be an easy money for them, because they I don't think they made any work off of this, and I think Nintendo gave them some money actually to have Minecraft on the system. It looks that way because Nintendo has been very vocal about this game, so it's a win-win for them. So, and like Nintendo needs to do stuff like that. Don't get me wrong; they need to put games on the Wii U. because like we said last podcast, they only have 3 major titles coming out in 2016. So they need stuff like this. It's just a bit too late, and it's just a bit too sad that not much effort was put into this sport.
Yeah, exactly. And that's actually what I'm trying to say. I guess I'm just failing miserably. It's just that it shouldn't come as a surprise that not much effort was put into it, is all. Like, I agree fully. Yeah, damn right. Nintendo has to have games like this out, and they have to continue to do this. It's just a shame that, like you say, more effort just wasn't put into it. And speaking of effort and you know, updates and, and, you know, changing things around, apparently there was a Mario Maker update that was announced that got you all excited.
Oh, yes, it did, and it's coming out next Tuesday, which you might actually, the podcast might not actually be up, so I'm not sure if, I'll just say the date, which is the 22nd, so 3 days before Christmas, and an early Christmas present from Santa for you, my man. 3 little updates, and actually little, I say little, they're little, but man, they're gonna add so much options for making levels, which is so much fun, and you should actually do it one of these days. And the first one they unveiled was like, you know those saws or seesaws, the thing that you can bounce around with Yoshi that you never seem to do right in your videos?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, you can now shake them and they create bumpers. Kind of like beach things that you can go in the water with, and there's a donut holes, you know, but they're bumpers,
Yeah, okay.
So they kind of works like pinball bumpers, I imagine, and you can jump on them, which sound pretty cool. Like, I wish all this stuff was in there when I was really playing a lot and making levels, but I guess I'll have to try and get back into the mood, if only you would help me. Second upgrade, P-switch doors. So basically, sometimes you can put doors in levels, and you enter one, and it puts you, it warps you to another door at another place in the level. Now, it's basically the same concept. The only difference is that you'll need to hit the P switch to activate those doors. And finally, the coolest update yet is that they'll add the what did they call it? Like the Koopa Clown Car, Fire Koopa Clown Car, something like that. And it's basically, it acts like it lets you create shoot 'em up levels, which is awesome. Like, people have already been creating shoot 'em up levels, because if you jump into a clown car and you have a fire flower as Mario, you can shoot projectiles. So people have already been creating those type of levels, but now those are even better, because that actually fires straight, and it fires. It works exactly like a ship in the shoot 'em up. And you can also charge the clown car, and it can destroy blocks and stuff like that. So people will have a blast creating levels with that stuff. So, and also what's also awesome is now every level that was created, you'll also, when you select it, there'll be a section below that will show you the world record time, clearer time for that course, and the first guy who ever completed that course. So that would be awesome for bragging rights. Like, it's tons of little updates like this that really adds longevity to Mario Maker. And they also announced that the portal will be live on the 22nd. The portal that will allow you to go on your PC and search for levels and then pinpoint them so you can play them on your Wii U later.
Cool.
So what do you think of all this? Will it
Very cool.
Convince you to try to make levels?
Never gonna happen. But what's very cool is I'm running out of Mario Maker challenge stuff. Cranberry's been about the only one now that's given me levels. She's made a couple more. I think she's up to 3 more levels. So I think Mario Maker episode 12, which is the one I'm currently working on. Well, not working on, the current one I'm going to be playing through. I need some levels. So guys, if you're listening to this, maybe for episode 13, you guys could go ahead and make me some levels. That would be really, really cool, especially with some of these new features. And you all know I like shoot 'em ups, so that would be really cool if anybody wants to make a shoot 'em up level for me, or just, you know, point me in the direction of a shoot 'em up level. let me know. That would be really, really cool. I'd really, really like that. I'm actually waiting for the next Cave shoot 'em up to arrive on Steam sometime next year. Can't wait. Anyways, no, all good updates. And, you know, with these kind of games, it's key that that these sorts of updates keep happening so that you get new tools, new tweaks, new this, new that. And I'm kind of sad, man, because like when the NX comes out, I almost hope that Mario Maker is like on the system because it's such a fun game that to me it's really like a Wii U killer app right now because it's so addictive. I can see people playing this for years because of just how easy it is to build levels and create some creative stuff. If you're not me, that is. So anyway,
just try it, damn it. I'm
yeah,
not
I need
creative,
to.
and I did fine. So
I know I need to. I need to do a lot of things in life, but hey,
you're the king of excuses.
I am. It's a gift. I'm telling you, it's a gift. Okay, so. Next up, we have some MPD results that Steven is going to relay to all of you. Some sad news.
Yeah, so, well, basically, November was a huge month. All the heavy games every year to come out in November, so I was hopeful because there's this little game called Yokai Watch you might have heard of. I really like that game. And there's a bunch of other games in Japan right now, and I want those games to come out here. So my logic was that if Yokai Watch doesn't sell here, Nintendo will not think of bringing the sequel. It's as simple as that. So I was hoping that it would crack the top 10. That might have not been realistic because like a game like Assassin's Creed was like number 7 or number 8 or something. So there was tons and tons and tons of heavy hitters, and the only title in the top 10 that wasn't multi-platform was Halo 5. So it doesn't mean that Yokai Watch didn't get some reasonable sales. It just didn't crack the top 10. But if it would have shown me that there was hope. So I still don't know. And Nintendo hasn't released any numbers on Yokai Watch. And I've Googled it and I couldn't find any concrete data on it. So I'm still hopeful that I think that the magic number would be something around 300 or 400 Ks before the end of the year. If it can hit that, Nintendo will consider, because the game's already made, all they need is being translated. So hopefully it gets here. The good news for Nintendo is that they did manage to sell 15 million amiibos. I believe they sold 15 million of amiibos in November, which I don't think is doable. So I might have read that wrong. But it was something like that. They sold like a incredible number of amiibos during November, and I don't remember what the exact same number, but that was the good news for Nintendo. And the Wii U did very well on Black Friday at Target, which is really random because this is a store that opened in around 1 year or two, opened and closed in Canada.
Yep.
So that's not. I don't think that's the biggest store you want to have success in, but it was the best system seller at Target. Like it outsold the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One at Target during Black Friday.
They should be proud.
Yeah, they should make themselves like a nice little certificate.
They should. And okay, VG Charts is not the most reliable. I know. Everybody always like all this, but sometimes it can be useful to give you an idea of how a game is performing, at least ballpark. I do find that VG Charts, sometimes they're off, but they're not off by too much, usually. And according to them, total sales so it came out the week of November 7th, and it sold approximately 21,000 that week. And then every week after that, it's fluctuated up and down. So they have sales up to and including the week of December 5th, and they have total sales around 55,000.
Okay. So that's a lot lower than expected. So it's not really looking good for us Yokai Watch fans. which
Well,
means
you never know.
yeah, you never know, but Nintendo might have had reasonable expectations for this game, so maybe they're looking at a franchise that they're going to build over the years with more, and that's something that's smart. Like you can't always expect, especially a Japanese heavy game like this, to sell right away. Like Pokemon worked right away, but not every game is Pokemon. So maybe they're saying that the anime will catch on and sales will pick up, and maybe this one won't sell that much, but maybe the sequel will. So maybe Nintendo, there's always hope. There's always hope, but it's just it didn't exactly have skyrocketing sales, and that's the reason why I actually imported Yokai Watch 2, and it should arrive in January or something. So I'm gonna
Cool.
finally get some use out of that 3DS you bought me last Christmas. But it's sad, and it's sad that you didn't play Yokai Watch, because we did those micro reviews and whatnot last episode, and I wanted you to share your thoughts on Yokai Watch once you finally try it. So you should put that as homework for you for the next Fanboyz episode.
Well, I can tell you right now, just by looking at this beautiful cover, the artwork is just spectacular. And the font that they used for the box art is just, it's great. And there's this plastic wrapper. I don't know if you can hear it. It's amazing.
So you didn't even open it yet. At least I opened up your game, so I'm one step ahead of you.
You are. I'm a monster, remember. And my cat is growling. That's right.
What cats do.
Apparently so. I'm unaware of this. He's kind of freaking me out right now. So, okay, now you wanted to touch base on well, actually, I'm not done with the numbers yet. Well, actually, yes, I am. I'm more interested in you actually using the 3DS I got you. That's great. I was watching our unboxing videos yesterday on the way home, having a good laugh.
I did the same thing because I wanted to actually remember if I once surprised you with a gift, and I did. And it was when I bought you the DualShock 4. You never saw that one coming. So
That's right.
Okay, I was a bit too hard on myself because every year I buy you these things and you always guess them. You bastard. And in 2013, you really surprised me. So I guess we're 1-for-1 right now. I'm going to have to find you something really, really unexpected for your birthday in August. I believe.
I could surprise you. I could surprise you a lot more. It's just that I always end up giving you hints.
Well, also that, and I do that at the last minute. So I'm in a rush and I don't actually shop. I just go on Amazon, so there's not really much to find there. So I'm going to have to keep an eye out from now till August to find you something neat, special.
I will never be able to beat 2013, though, because that was so awesome.
Because you were hinting so much at those Robo Penis games.
That's right.
Super expecting that, and then no, you threw a curveball at me, which was amazing. It's just too bad it was filmed in such a way, but
yeah, I know you suck. But the thing that gets me with that is that was ordered in like October, and it arrived. I looked at the date; it was published in February. Like, my God. Anyways, okay, we got way off topic there. So let's get back on topic. You wanted to talk about two games in particular. I'm going to throw them together so that you can do a 1-2 shot. And do you need me to name them or you want to name them?
Yeah, because I forgot.
Okay, it's Dementium Remastered and Devil's Third. Perfect. So those are actually interesting topics, and I'm pretty sure you have lots to say about that, because the first one is Dementium. I think the first game was called The Ward, or maybe the second one was called The Ward, but basically they were survival horror gems for the Nintendo DS. And you really should consider trying this new one out, because basically what they did was they remastered the original and they fixed a few of the flaws for it. Like, enemies no longer respawn when you kill them, which was a huge problem. I played the first one. I think I was halfway through the first one, and it was really fun, but it was really frustrating because not only does it have all the regular
aspects of a survival horror game, like ammunition control and not sparse, but few save points and whatnot. But enemies actually respawn, which I thought was ridiculous. Now they don't anymore. And since this is a portable game, they actually woke up, and I think you can save anywhere now. Or if you can't, there's a lot more save points. So right there, that makes the game a lot better than it was. Unfortunately for Renegade Kid, they just announced that the game sold very, very poorly. Like they said that they had very conservative expectations, and they didn't even meet those. So basically, and I found it a bit strange the way they worded it, because they basically kind of like, not blackmailed the 3DS fans, but they basically said, you better buy our game or we won't make any more. Like, I understand what they're saying. They're saying that they're a very small team. I think there are only 5 people working in an office and whatnot, and they can't continue making games that won't see a return on, and it makes perfect sense. It's just the wording they use. But whatever. It's sad because those are good games, and they said that they have. I think they're working on Dimension 2, the remake for the 3DS also. But they said after that they're not gonna continue working on the 3DS if the sales don't pick up. So they basically gave us a no, which I found funny. But this is a game you really should consider trying, because it's right up your alley. It's a survival horror game, and yeah, you should try it out, man.
All right. And you say it's on the 3DS right now, eh?
Yeah, it's on the eShop.
All right. Why not? I'll add it to my lists that when the capture card arrives in the year of our Lord 2795, I'll be good to go.
You always change the date when you say that.
I know. That's why it's funny. And I say it at work, too, all the time. People are like, that doesn't make any sense. And I'm like, well, welcome to me. I don't make any sense.
Have you ever heard of the game Devil's Third?
Yeah, this one I'm really curious about, because this was from Itagi-san, no?
Yeah, basically it's funny because it was released, I think it was released last year in Japan, and I know it was released earlier this year in Europe. And the game got very, very, very bad reviews. And it's one of the few M-rated titles on the Wii U. And Nintendo basically, I don't know how to say that, like, they didn't not covered it, but they buried it. Yeah, that's what, they buried it, like, in the press release. Like, they mentioned it. It came out last week or 2 weeks ago, and they didn't talk about it at all. It's funny because there's nothing on Wii U, and they didn't mention it. And I think it's because it's an M-rated game, because it's not like Nintendo hasn't published crap lately, like Mario Tennis and Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival. They were more than happy to remind us about those games, but Devil's Third, I guess it's an M-rated game. So basically, it got bad reviews, and it's funny because who you said, Ige, whatever the name of the guy is?
I think
he was actually...
It's Itagaki, I think is his name.
Yeah, he actually complained at reviewers. He was telling them that they were playing the game wrong. That's why the game was getting bad reviews. And basically, the whole reason I want to talk about this game is, if you see this game, Jarrod, buy it. Buy all the copies. Right now, it's going for around $200 on eBay. Nintendo basically didn't release, like, they probably released 10 copies in North America. Like, this is one of those Saturn games where, like, they were really, really limited runs, like extremely limited runs. And I'm not sure if there's going to be a second print for this game. Basically, it's sold out everywhere in North America. And it's funny because the European version, you can buy that for like $6. Nobody wants it. It's a crappy game. Nobody wants it. But here, it has such a limited release that right now, I believe it's going to be one of those Wii U games, and in a few years will be like $5 or $7. It's just crazy how expensive it is. That being said, Nintendo could actually wake up and release a second print of this game, because they should. There's nothing out on Wii U right now. Even if the game's not that good, like it's still. I say that it got bad reviews. It didn't necessarily get like crappy reviews. Like, you get 5 out of 10, 6 out of 10, maybe a 7 here and there. So it's not like a garbage game. It's just not that good of a game. But still, it's a game. Nintendo doesn't have anything on the Wii U right now. There's not much coming out. They should actually use this game and get more publicity for it and release more copies of this, because this is ridiculous. Like $200 for a Wii U average game, that's not something I'm interested in. But if you do see it around, be sure to grab it.
Excuse me, good Lord. I'll be honest with you. I didn't even know that this was a physical release. I thought this was only a digital release. I had no idea. And while you were talking, you'll probably hear it in the podcast, but I was typing around because I was looking for physical copies. And yeah, you're right. It's crazy. On Amazon, it's $100. And it's used. Like, what the hell? It's crazy. People are nuts. But yeah, that's exactly what happened, man, back in the day with the Saturn. The only reason why those games weren't like, $500 to begin with was because it was before it's not really before the internet. It's the fact the internet wasn't as widespread. And so, no one knew where you were going to sell the games to and stuff like that. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So yeah, you're probably right. This is probably going to be the type of game, if they don't do another run, that it'll be like hundreds of dollars in the future. And the funny thing is, I'm on Metacritic right now, and it scored, it's not bad, man. It scored 43 out of all the critics, but the user score, which is usually much more indicative, unless they're being pricks, purposely trying to lower it, is 6.4. So, I mean, it depends. But yeah, thanks for letting me know. I'm actually going out today to go see Star Wars, and I'll keep my eye out because I've got a few hours to kill.
Cool. You let me know. You get me one too if you can.
Yeah,
and
sure.
You're really lucky to go get Star Wars. We're not getting it here, and we're lucky to have a theater, mind you, but we're not getting it here until like January 2nd, I believe. Can't wait.
Well, don't worry.
I'll
be sure to spoil it.
No, it's just I'm really frustrating because there are spoilers everywhere on the internet, and it's annoying. Even IGN, it's funny. Like they said something. It might be a mild spoiler, but I'm not going to say the character's name. They said the actual title of the story was explains why insert character name here turned to the dark side. And then they put in parentheses, no spoilers. I was like, what the heck?
Seriously?
Are you beeping doing, man? It's like, and people on the internet have this thing where they think that it's okay to spoil a movie after a week or two. And mind you, this movie has been out since yesterday.
Yeah,
but they have this, and they don't realize that there are people like me living in small towns. And most towns that I live in don't have cinemas. We do because we're lucky. But it's very rare that we get a movie right away. Like, there's few exceptions. Like, I think, like, the Hunger Games is probably the only movie series that we get it day one. The rest, we get it usually a few weeks after, sometimes like 4 or 5 months after. So it's really pissing me off how the internet acts. And even sites like IGN, like another story that I just saw, just the article, was the story wrote why Leia isn't a Jedi in The Force Awakens. And I hope I didn't spoil that for you. I'm sorry. But that's the freaking title of the story. Star Wars came out yesterday. Like, man, like at least just keep it for the article. If you want spoilers, I totally fine with that. Like, there are movies, there are franchises that I don't mind spoilers, and I actually look out for them. But movies like that, I don't want to hear anything. You should at least have the respect to not include spoilers in the freaking title. And I'm really trying not to swear here, but it's just frustrating because, especially for me, which I live in a town where we don't get stuff day one. And it's like we don't exist for YouTube or the internet. It's like, it's so frustrating. You have no idea. Like, you live in Montreal, you're lucky. If you want to go see a movie, you have the freedom to do so whenever you want. But anyway, that's the end of my rant.
Well, I want to piggyback on that because, like, the reason I'm going to see Star Wars in a few hours is because of what you just said. That's the only reason. this is not the time for me to be going to see a movie. I'll be honest. With the stuff going on with my family, everybody's like, really, really hurt because of what happened with the dog. I know to some people they're like, oh, it's just an animal, but to my family there was, it was like a family member. And especially Serena in particular is taking it the hardest because the dog, like her whole life was wrapped around that dog's schedule. And work has just been insane, so like I'm not in the mood, to be honest, to go even see this. But I've been seeing Star Wars movies since Return of the Jedi in the cinema. Yeah, I'm old. And I don't want this spoiled. Like what you just said, why blank character turned to the dark side. That could potentially ruin that whole movie for me now. Because like, what does that mean? Like,
yeah, they actually say the name of the character in the title.
Yeah, but like, oh, there, I just swore. Perfect. It's annoying because there's only so many characters that could go to the dark side. You know what I mean? Like,
and
anyway.
This is from IGN. It's not like I read that on one of my friend's Facebook accounts. It's from IGN. It's like there's no respect at all for spoilers because usually with the internet, it's free game after a few weeks, which I always found stupid because they don't realize, they don't account the people that lives in small towns. Like
Exactly.
it's not just in Canada. I'm sure in the United States there are a ton of small towns that don't have cinemas and whatnot, that have to wait or that have to actually take a road trip or that have to wait for the DVD or whatnot. It's something, and this I know it's going to get even worse as the days go by because now not only sites will spoil it, but people will start posting stuff on Facebook, on YouTube and whatnot. It's like I'm gonna have to be very, very careful.
Yeah, that's why, like I said, again, that's why I'm going today. I'm going today because I have a bunch of colleagues at work that have already seen it, and I'm walking down the hill, and they're like, oh, man, that was so cool when, and I purposely cover my ears. I'm like, I don't want to know, Jesus. I'm like, this is pathetic that, like, you've got to do, I mean, in person is one thing, that's something else, but you're right, like Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, it's unbelievable the amount of spoilers now that are out there, and it's unacceptable, though, for a big site. That is total clickbait. That's BS. They should not do something like that. That's really, really not nice at all.
No, it's not. Even they had the balls to say no spoilers. Like,
yeah,
you just
no spoilers.
Just read the line before you said that. You dumbass. Like, anyway, it's... Let me know once you see the film. Just text me. Let me know if it's good. I'm just curious to see.
Well, so far, I think everybody, like, of my group of friends there that have seen it, they all said that it feels like a Star Wars movie, and it's a good Star Wars movie. If you dislike the prequels, you will enjoy this.
That's what I heard too from the reviews. I think what they said was that it's a great Star Wars film. It's not as spectacular as the original trilogy, but it sets the mood for the next one. Like the next one has the potential to bring it back to the. But yeah, I'm really looking forward, and just let me know because I know how big of a fan you are, and I think I'm a similar. Like I've watched all the Star Wars. I had like the original trilogy. I wasn't old enough, obviously, when it was in theaters. Like I wasn't even born actually, but it's funny because we have a corner store here that used to have VHS for rents, and there was this deal where you could rent the entire trilogy on VHS for $1.99. That's ridiculous, and I must have rented that trilogy like dozen times. I always went there and watched those films, and I never got tired of those films. And me and Liz are actually supposed to. I don't know when we'll have the time because it's Elliot's birthday tomorrow. Well, it's not his true birthday. That true birthday is Monday, but we're celebrating tomorrow, so we have a lot of planning to do. And I want to actually watch the original trilogy with her because she has never watched a Star Wars film. And she
how is that possible?
I know, and she wants to go see Episode 7. And I told her, don't worry about the new ones, like they're crap, don't need to see them, and this is Episode 7. So you only need to see 4, 5, 6. At the worst case, I'll show her 6 if we have time before 7. Maybe she'll understand a bit more. But anyway, it's a magical thing. So I know that you're a fan of that. So if you liked it, it's good news. So let me know.
Yeah, we'll do, man. We'll do. And we're going to be wrapping up this podcast. We only got 2 more stories for you guys. The next one is you wanted to talk about something that just was released on the Virtual Console.
Oh, yes. And this is a series in this particular game that is really, really precious to me. And I know that I actually introduced you to this series like 2 years ago, and you were addicted to it as I was, so it's something that might speak to you a bit. They actually released Animal Crossing Wild World on the Virtual Console, which is the DS title for the series. And it's sad that they're not releasing Game Boy Advance game and DS games on the 3DS Virtual Console. They're just releasing this on the Wii U. And this is funny because Animal Crossing Wild World was just like the Zelda games, exclusively used with the stylus. That was the only way to control the character with that. And it actually worked surprisingly well, just like Zelda did on the DS. Like, I played that game, not as much as I did with New Leaf because we were just crazy with that one. But I played like almost 100 or 150 hours of that game too. So it's not near the 400 I put into New Leaf, but it's still something not to take lightly. And it was a pretty good game. It's obviously missing a lot of features from the new ones, but I thought I'm really curious to actually try it out, take a trip to Nostalgia Lane. The problem is, like I said, it's completely stylus exclusive, and they tweaked a bit with the controls because it makes no sense to play a game on the TV with the stylus, you know? Like, it will work when you're playing off screen, I guess, but it's just... I thought that the picking the Wii U over the 3DS for releasing this game was a bit weird.
Yeah, I agree. That's very odd. For a stylus-only game, that's very, very odd. I wonder why the hell they did that.
Well,
I don't know. I don't have much else to say about that. It's just really weird.
They're still not releasing Game Boy Advance game on the 3DS, but they're releasing them by the truckload on the Wii U, so who knows? And it's funny because the 3DS has outsold the Wii U like by a huge margin, but they're putting they're not releasing anything for the Virtual Console there anymore.
Yeah, I don't know. That is odd. I don't mind so much if stuff hits the like not DS games, but like Game Boy Advance. I don't mind if that hits the Virtual Console on the Wii U because I could easily capture footage. Hey, do reviews.
Yeah, but we're not doing both. Like I actually have, and you too, because you're part of the Ambassador program. We actually have Game Boy Advance game on a 3DS, but they haven't released any since. It's funny.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't understand that either. I would release it on both, for sure. It's really strange. Anyways, okay. So now it's time for Amiibo news.
All right, so as always during Nintendo Fanboys, we need to talk Amiibos, because Amiibos rocks. By the way, did you enjoy those Amiibo cards I sent you?
Yes, I did. I have not used them, but they're sitting actually right beside me. Tom Nook is hunting my dreams as we speak.
Good. I should have sent you some card protectors with those or something so you could display them all over your office or your home. Damn it.
Yes.
They need some loving. Okay, Nintendo announced during the Direct that Famicom Rob, Roar, and Ryu will be released on the 18th of March. Which is awesome. I'm looking forward to actually having those. Actually, I already have the Famicom Rob because it was released in Japan. Japan, I don't think actually got the Rob we got here, but they got the Famicom Rob, and I believe that it was going to be exclusive. So I said I was able to import one for $25, shipping included. So I thought that wasn't bad. And then footage was actually leaked that Famicom Rob was probably going to get released here in North America, and they confirmed it. So I wasted some money, but whatever. At least I won't have to hunt it down. And Roar is always pretty cool because the Fire Emblem amiibos are always pretty hard to get. And Ryu, that's a kick-ass one to get. I'm pretty sure you might want to get that one. Street Fighter, bitches.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I have a question for you. Do you unbox all of your amiibos?
I do.
Good.
I do.
You're not one of, you're not Timothy.
I guess I'm a liar because, like I told you last time, I didn't unbox the Mario series because those are duplicates and I just kept them in the boxes. But every single other one, I always unbox. And even the Mario ones, I'm really tempted by it because like I have Toad in there, which like I don't know. I just want to hold them in my hands. Those little cute amiibos.
Aww.
I want to sleep with them.
You sick man. But yeah, no, I did the same thing. I unboxed all of mine. Timothy, though, he's got them all in boxes. I'm like,
Timothy McGanna?
Yeah,
actually has those amiibos.
Yes,
really.
Yeah, he is hands down the biggest Nintendo fanboy in the world.
I agree. Well, he's funny. He always texts me and complains about all Nintendo is doing. Yet he buys everything. But mind you, he has a Wii U, but it's still in the box.
Exactly. And he's got games for it.
Yeah.
He's a funny guy. He's a funny guy. I gotta ask him how many amiibos he actually owns now. Because watch him own the entire set. I will laugh.
I'll actually have to text him and ask him that because that's news to me.
Yeah, well, text him. You'll see, and I will laugh. All right, guys, that's pretty much it for today's episode. And most likely, given the hour, I might be near the end of my Zelda playthrough. So I'll have to pick something else to capture some footage of. Probably not going to do another playthrough type thing. I'll probably most likely grab some footage for a Nintendo game I want to review. And especially if there's stuff on the Virtual Console there, maybe I'll just grab a Game Boy Advance game or something and tackle that. All right, guys, that's pretty much it. Thanks for joining us, and leave us a comment. And we didn't even mention user comment this time, but it's okay. We'll do that next time.
Thanks Christmas.
For watching. Yeah, that's it. Yay, thanks. Have a very Merry Christmas. Have a Happy New Year. Happy Holidays. Goodbye.